Welcome back to Market on Close. I'm Sam Bartas, live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Let's take a closer look at the retail space and how AI is impacting the shopping experience. So joining us now is Daniel Wagner, Chairman, CEO and founder of Rezolve AI. It's very nice to see you in person. Last time we chatted was virtually, so thanks for joining us here.
That's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's great to chat. So last time we spoke, I mean, you had these sort of partnerships with Google,
yes,
right, and Microsoft, right. And can you give us a bit of an update on, some of the customers that you've taken on since then, and where you're at as far as the business?
Yeah, so the business is really taking off, and quite rightly so, because we're changing the way in which consumers can interact with e-commerce, which we believe is end of life. And we think that Gen AI is dramatically changing that experience for the better, and that's our products and our solution set. Microsoft and Google have opened up their customer base to us and are encouraging their customers to look and buy our products, and that's had a profound impact on our momentum and growth as a business. So we started the year with no revenue. We've told the market we're exiting the year with 150 million in ARR, meaning that if we stopped selling on January 1 next year, we would have 150 million of revenue next year.
Right.
So that's kind of what we mean. And the same applies to the exit of 2026, which we are now estimating will be 500 million of ARR. That's extraordinary momentum and growth, and we're experiencing that because we have the right product at the right time that solves very serious problems in e-commerce, which is basically the fact that customers can't find what they're looking for, and about 70% of people who go to e-commerce don't end up buying something, which is 100% converse to going into a physical retail store. 70% of people do end up buying something. So there's a real problem there, and we think it's about information, getting the answers to questions about the products, being gently led to the purchase path.
Yeah, look, it's fascinating to have you on a day like this where we've had obviously Nvidia's earnings and then some of the big box retailers, and so you're sort of in the middle of all of that with regards to the e-commerce and how AI is actually adding value to people's lives through that shopping experience. But then, we're also seeing a use case for AI as well. So have you got any thoughts on, some of the conversations out there right now about bubbles, stretched valuations, and the big question out there in the market, which is ROI?
Yeah, look, I think that there's there has been some potential abuse of the market euphoria around AI. And what I mean by that is the kind of cross contamination of investment and revenue, which we've seen happening. I think quite transparently happening in certain cases where ABC company invests in XYZ company, and then their revenue comes with it. I think that taking that out of the taking that aside, what you're seeing with Nvidia is phenomenal demand and growth in the infrastructure to support AI. And that obviously leads to strong demand and growth for the services that run AI. Because the two things go together. You don't have a drive in chips if you don't have a drive in demand for the utilization of those chips, right? We are a service business providing software that demands or requires powering of infrastructure. And so the next wave is the software solution set that sits behind the Nvidia revolution. So I think that the bubble, the idea of a bubble is misguided. I think that we're sitting on the, and as you know, I've been 40 years in the tech industry, ahead of the trends and so on. I think what we're experiencing right now is the most exciting development in technology in my lifetime, and I know that other people have said the same, and I think that it has just infinite possibilities in terms of growth and opportunity for businesses to develop and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I just want to sort of get your thoughts, because I mean, you mentioned software, and obviously that's the business that you're in. It's been a tough year for a lot of the software companies.
Not for us.
Yes, not for you, obviously, because you've brought on a lot of these sort of enterprise customers, etc. But things seem to be turning around. But there was that threat that some of the business models, perhaps were at risk of AI replacing what they'd done, etc.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. There is a large swathe of existing infrastructure software that is end of life, okay, because technology moves on. Now, some companies that own that software infrastructure, that was selling it into the market, was making investments into the next wave of technology, but many were not. And so you have an opportunity for new market entrants to displace those old players, and you have an opportunity for those who are smart enough to invest in this new revolution to take advantage of their market position. I think both of those things are exciting and opportunist for both investors, companies, and employees, right, across the board.
Yeah, I mean, and so when we talk about bubbles, I mean, drawing from your experience, you've been doing this for a very, very long time.
I've been through a few bubbles.
You have, and I just want to sort of draw the comparison that many do at the moment to the dot-com bubble. I mean, are we in one or not? Because,
No.
I mean, you've had some comments out from Ray Dalio. I've spoken about that. I sound like a broken record today. But, I mean, you know, he's a very high-profile, influential voice who sort of seemed to think that we were in one, but that doesn't mean you have to sell everything.
Look, I think that, first of all, the level of understanding is vastly superior to what it was at the dot-com bubble, where at that time there was just euphoria and a lack of knowledge. There's a much more sophisticated understanding of technology and the markets and the implications that AI has for those markets. But unfortunately what you've got is maybe over-enthusiastic investors in backing young companies that have yet to prove anything, that have no product or have no expertise, that have no experience, have no other than the fact that they might have worked at Google in the AI department. You know, so I think that there is an element of that, but there's always an element of that in every business, in every market. I think that fundamentally what you're seeing here is excitement over the potential of this new technology opportunity, and the big players who have a stake in it have the potential to really dominate, like NVIDIA, I believe that they do. And I think that new market entrants that have a unique carved position to leverage that technology, like us, have the opportunity to make significant gains. You know, so I think it's not. I think that there is obviously players in the market that don't warrant investment and don't warrant being supported, but the majority of the players who, once you just get under the skin of it, have some real substance to them. There's no bubble here.
Okay.
It's just opportunity.
It's been so nice to pick your brains, and particularly here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. We've got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll do it again soon. Daniel Wagner there, Chairman, CEO, and founder of Rezolve AI.